Now we are going to look into each and every monetary policy tool, okay? And we discussed the current rates. As I said, these rates are changed for every 2 months, okay? And I discussed October rates, okay? On October 5th, RBI reviewed those rates, and those rates we discussed 6.75 and 6.5 and all. Now we are going to discuss each and every component individually, okay? Now before we are going to discuss into what is repo rate, reverse repo rate and all, first you should have a basic understanding of money flow in the economy. Understand what is the concept of money, types of money, okay? What is the meaning of liquidity and all we are going to discuss in our next session. Before that, we just look into how money flow in the economy, okay? You take, okay, say this is a Reserve Bank of India. This is any commercial bank, scheduled commercial bank. I am taking SBI as an example, any scheduled commercial bank, okay? Now a third component is a customer or market, clear? Understand? Now in the economy, money will flow in bidirection, okay? Clear? Say for example, being the customers, we are depositing our money at SBI or any other commercial bank. Understand? Being the customers, we are depositing our money in savings accounts of various banks, and whatever the money that these banks are received through the deposits, those money again banks will give loans to customers or market. That we will discuss, okay? What is the loan component and all we will discuss in our individual monetary policy tool. By and large, you try to understand money flow is not in unidirection but in bidirection. Understand? Customers, they will deposit their money, they will save their money in the banks through deposits. Whatever deposits received by a bank, out of that deposits, some are reserve ratios are there, those we will discuss separately. Understand? Out of removing those reserve ratios, the left out money, these banks will give loans to the customers. Understand? And some part of money in the bank will keep at RBI, in the form of CRR, that we will discuss. Understand? So whatever money a bank is receiving, out of that money, out of those deposits, some percentage of deposits each and every bank in this country must reside at RBI. Understand? Here RBI also giving loans to commercial banks. RBI won't give loans directly to customers, but RBI will give loans to commercial banks. Understand? So here the point is, money is flowing from RBI to commercial banks to customers, again customers to banks, commercial banks, then banks to RBI. So it is a bi-direction flow of money in the economy. Now this money flow can be regulated. This money flow is not always unique, not always equal. There are situations in which fluctuations happen. Understand? So RBI is having various functions. One of the important function of RBI is regulating the money through monetary policy. Understand? If RBI won't regulate the money supply, it will lead to cascading effect. And whatever happening in Zimbabwe, whatever happening in Bolivia, there hyperinflation is happening. RBI means the concerned central bank of those respective countries are not completely able to regulate the money flow, that led to high inflation. Whenever inflation rate is too much, that inflation badly affects the savings of the people. Understand? And how it affects that in the inflation topic we will discuss, but here we confine to our monetary policy. Understand? Now first look into what is bank rate. What is bank rate? Understand? Here definition parts are also very important. Why? Because in the examination you will get the direct question, which among the, or they will give the explanation, they will give the definition, they ask which one is called as bank rate kind of thing. Understand? Now first look what is bank rate. Here bank rate, the word bank rate meaning the rate at which bank is giving loan to customer, no, that is wrong. Understand? Here bank rate meaning central bank, the central bank's rate. Okay, so bank rate meaning the rate at which RBI giving long-term loans to scheduled commercial banks. Very important. Definition part is important. Okay. Bank rate meaning the rate at which right now bank rate is 6.75 percentage. Currently bank rate is 6.75 percentage. Okay. The rate at which the central bank of this country, meaning RBI, giving long-term loans to scheduled commercial banks called as bank rate. Say for example, SBI required 1,000 rupees, RBI giving 1,000 rupees to SBI under bank rate. It means RBI is giving loan at 6.75 rate of interest to SBI, and this loan is a long-term loan. Long-term loan exceeds 3 years. Understand? Long-term loans usually 3 years and more repayment duration loans called as long-term loans. Clear? After 3 years, SBI need to return 1,000 rupees to RBI with 6.75 percentage rate of interest. This is called as bank rate. Understand? So bank rate meaning the rate at which RBI giving long-term loans to scheduled commercial bank. Long-term loans meaning usually greater than 3 years repayment duration loans. Okay, this is called bank rate. Now coming to repo rate. Repo rate. Clear? Here rate meaning interest. Okay, at what interest banks are giving loans to others. That is the point. Now what is repo rate? The same definition. Repo rate and bank rate are same but durations are different. Okay, bank rate is long-term duration loan from RBI to commercial bank, whereas repo is short-term duration loan. Understand? Short-term meaning less than 3 years duration. Understand? So the rate at which RBI giving short-term loans to scheduled commercial banks called as the repo rate. Understand? Repo rate meaning the rate at which RBI giving short-term loans to scheduled commercial banks called as a repo rate. Now coming to reverse repo rate. Reverse repo rate. Repo rate meaning RBI to SBI or any commercial bank. Reverse repo rate meaning backside, opposite. So this RBI is taking money from, borrowing money from commercial banks. Understand? Reverse repo rate meaning the rate at which RBI, that is Central Bank of India, receiving short-term loans or borrowing short-term loans from commercial bank called as reverse repo rate. Now the point will arise, what is the purpose a central bank can accept loans from a commercial bank? Central bank is having enough finances with itself, enough money with itself. Then on what reasons this RBI is accepting money or taking loans from SBI or any commercial bank? That we will discuss. Understand? And this is the point through which, understand, particularly this repos, repo rate and reverse repo rate both are called as repos. These repos are very vital instrument in monetary policy. Through these repos, RBI will fluctuate or RBI will regulate money supply. Understand? That we will discuss at the end. First here we stick on to definition part. Okay. Now after repo rate, after reverse repo rate, we are having cash reserve ratio, CRR. This is the reserve ratio. Understand? This is the reserve ratio, meaning someone is reserving money at others. Clear? And CRR is 4% right now. There is 4% of NDTL. NDTL meaning net demand time liabilities. Net demand time liabilities. Here you need to have little bit understanding over what is liability and what is an asset for a bank. Okay, we will look that. What I said, CRR, cash reserve ratio, that is 4% of NDTL, net demand time liabilities. Here liability means what? That is the question. You take any bank, you take a bank, whatever bank you can take, whether a private bank or public sector bank or foreign bank or a Grameen bank, any bank you can take. Each bank is having two important components. One is deposits and second one is a loan. Understand? Any bank can function on these two important items. One is deposit component, another one is loan component. Understand? So a bank is receiving deposits from the people. Whatever deposits it received, it is giving loans to the people. Understand? It's like the functioning of a heart. For functioning of a human heart, two important components are there: systoles and diastoles. We call as love and dom. Understand? Systoles and diastoles. The way systoles and diastoles are instrumental for a human heart functioning, similarly these deposits and loans are very vital instruments for a bank functioning. With respect to these deposits and loans, we are having two components. One is called liability component, another one is asset component. Clear? See here, asset meaning something profitable. Understand? Asset meaning income generative, something profitable. Say for example, I given 100 rupees to you. That is the case. If I given 100 rupees to you, the condition is after 1 year you supposed to return that 100 rupees along with 3% rate of interest. Clear? That 100 rupees for me is asset. Why? That 100 rupee for me is creating 3% rate of interest. At the end of the year, you are returning my principal 100 rupees along with 3% rate of interest. That is income to me. That's why that 100 rupees is an asset to me. The same 100 rupees to you who borrowed is a liability. Why? After 1 year, you are returning 100 rupees along with rate of interest. That's why you are losing some money. Understand? Clear? Similarly, here for a bank, which one will provide income, that is called as asset, and which component will create some losing of money, that is called as deposits. Say for example, deposits, these deposits are liability for a bank, whereas assets are loans, or loans are assets. Clear? So deposits are a liability, a burden on the bank, whereas loans are assets. Say for example, currently 3.5% is rate of interest on savings account. That we will discuss. Okay, first you understand, say SBI is receiving deposits from 100 people. Each one deposited 1 lakh in their savings account. Right now SBI is offering 3.5% rate of interest on savings account. Clear? So it means that SBI is returning these deposited money to the depositors along with rate of interest. So bank is losing money here. That's why deposits are liabilities. On the other hand, say for example SBI received 1 lakh rupees deposits. Out of that 1 lakh rupees, 80,000 it is giving loan, and that loan carries 8.5% or 9% rate of interest. Clear? So here that loan amount is bringing rate of interest to the bank. So it is creating profits. That's why loan are asset. Understand? Now as I said, deposits are liabilities. Here net, demand and time liabilities. Liability is nothing but deposits. Understand? So deposits are of two types: demand deposits and time deposits. That we will discuss. Clear? So deposits are of two types. One is demand deposits, second one is time deposits, or time deposits also called term deposits. Okay, clear? So deposits are of two types: demand deposits, and the second one is time deposit or term deposit. Here time deposit, first we will look into time deposit. Time deposit or term deposit meaning, say for example 3 persons are there, you can take 2 persons. Okay, say person A is depositing 1 lakh rupees in SBI. Understand? And this is a time deposit. Clear? Say it is, first we are looking into time deposits, that first we will complete this time or term deposit, later we can move to demand. Say A is a person who deposited 1 lakh rupees in SBI account. Here this fixed deposits, here you take term deposits. This term deposits we can differentiate into two. One is FD, another one is RD. Understand? So these term deposits are of two types. One is fixed deposit and second one is recurring deposit. Clear? See here, fixed deposit meaning at a time the lump sum amount is depositing in the bank for a certain period of time, and after that period, okay, bank will return the principal amount and the rate of interest. That is called as fixed deposit. Whereas recurring deposit, reoccur again and again. Recurring deposit meaning the lump sum amount not deposited at a time, per month installment basis, it can be paid throughout the policy period. Once policy period is over, then the concerned bank or a post office will return the principal amount with rate of interest. Clear? So this FD is for high income group people, whereas for RD is for low income group people. These RDs are famous in the rural areas. This postal department has introduced these RDs in India. Clear? So this both FDs and RDs are saving schemes. Clear? Now look here. Say person A deposited 1 lakh rupees in SBI and this is fixed deposit. Clear? And once, say for example 5 years is the duration, after 5 years he will get the principal amount and rate of interest. This is called as what? Okay, it's called as FDs. And now we are looking here deposits. As I said, term deposits two types. One is FD and RD. And how these term deposits are differentiated or differ from the demand deposit. Say for example, person A deposited 1 lakh rupees in FD fixed deposit for 5 years. Once 5 years over, then only he will get his principal amount and rate of interest. Prematurely, before 5 years of the set policy period, he won't get the money. Understand? So time deposit or term deposits are lock-in periods. They are having some lock-in periods. Once you deposited, you're supposed to wait till the maturity period. Once maturity period is over, then only you will get your principal and rate of interest. Prematurely, you won't get the money. If you want to get the money, you're supposed to lose some percentage of rate of interest. Understand? Clear? On the other hand, you take demand deposits. Demand deposits are of two types. One is savings account and current account. Clear? The savings account and current account together called as demand deposits. Here the point is demand deposit meaning the deposits of a customer can be returned by a bank whenever the customer is demanded. Say for example, I am having a savings account in X bank and I put my 1 lakh rupees in my savings account. I am having the debit card meaning ATM card. Whenever I want, I will withdraw my money at any time 24/7 from any ATMs. For withdrawing my money from my account, I no need to inform to the bank or to take the consent of the bank. Clear? So here demand deposit meaning whenever customer demanded, then banks should be return their money. Such kind of deposits called as demand deposits, and demand deposits are of two types. One is savings account and current account. Clear? Here there are some differences between savings and current account. Here savings account generally opened by individuals, whereas current account opened by institutions, okay, organizations or businesses, anything. Clear? There are some differences between the savings and current account. Clear? In terms of operations, savings accounts are having some kind of restrictions over operations, whereas current accounts are not having such kind of restrictions. Clear? Recently, 1 month back, State Bank of India has said that you can, means SBA holders, customer SBA account holders can withdraw 20,000 per day only, not beyond that. Means SBA is keeping some cap on withdrawals on savings account, whereas on current account there are no such kind of restrictions. On operation wise, savings accounts and current accounts are having differences. Savings accounts there are no restrictions over the savings accounts are having restrictions over operations, whereas current account not having such restrictions. Clear? Bank will get profit over savings account and no profit over current account. That's why bank will offer some rate of interest on savings account. Clear? Right now all the public sectors banks are offering 3.5 to 4% rate of interest on savings account, whereas on current account rate of interest is 0%. Clear? This is about deposits and types of deposits. Now we are discussing about CRR. Understand? We are discussing about CRR, cash reserve ratio. Cash reserve ratio, as I said, 4% of NDTL, net demand time liabilities. And liabilities, just now we discussed. Liability meaning deposits, two types, demand deposits and time deposits. Now in this country, each and every bank, out of their net deposits, 4% must be reserved at RBI. This is called as CRR. Understand? Clear, all of you? So here in this country, each and every bank, out of its net deposits, out of the total deposits, it can keep aside some percentage as the reserve ratios, and the remaining called as net deposits. Out of the net deposits, 4% each and every bank should or must reserve at RBI. That reserving procedure called as CRR. It is mandatory. Every bank in this country must deposit 4% of their deposits at RBI in the form of cash. Understand? Clear? And whatever the 4% of the cash these commercial banks are depositing at RBI will not receive any rate of interest. That's why CRR is called dead money. CRR is called dead money. Understand? CRR is called dead money because RBI won't give any rate of interest on CRR. Then what is the purpose of CRR? The main purpose of CRR is for the security of the customers. Clear? So if any bank gets defaulted or bankrupted, then RBI will return some percentage of depositors' money from the CRR. Clear? Understand? This is about cash reserve ratio. After cash reserve ratio, we are having statutory liquidity ratio, SLR. Statutory liquidity ratio. Here statutory meaning by law. Understand? Law, by law. It is compulsory. Understand? As per Banking Regulation Act 1949, each and every bank must hold some percentage of reserve with itself, that is called as SLR. Understand? Here cash reserve ratio, CRR, meaning a commercial bank keeping some percentage of money at RBI, whereas SLR meaning a commercial bank keeping some percentage of money with itself is called as SLR. Understand? So SLR right now 19.5% is, it means that out of its total deposits, out of its net deposits, 19.5% is valued money should be keep a bank with itself in the form of gold and government securities, that is government treasury bills or any securities. Clear, all of you? This is very important. SLR meaning the percentage of the net deposits a bank is supposed to keep with itself in the form of gold and government securities, whereas CRR some percentage meaning 4% of net deposits a bank must keep with RBI, whereas SLR a bank should with itself in the form of gold and government securities. This is called as SLR. Okay, and finally we are having marginal standing facility, MSF, marginal standing facility. See, MSF is an overnight borrowing instrument. Say for example, if any bank required money emergently or required money urgently, that money a bank can borrow from RBI on overnight basis. Overnight meaning for 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, on very short notice basis. Such kind of borrowing procedure or lending procedure is called as MSF. Understand? So marginal standing facility is nothing but an overnight borrowing of a commercial bank from RBI is called as MSF. Understand? Now the biggest thing here in this topic is how the RBI by using this instrument can regulate the money supply. Say for example, Say in the economy, inflation is very high. Inflation is very high. Inflation meaning the prices of goods and services are too much high. During the inflation time, the profit margins of the banks are very less. Okay, say if high inflation condition, case 1, high inflation condition, high inflationary condition. High inflation will lead to less profits for the establishment, less profits for the businesses. Understand? It means risk in the market, risk in the market. Clear? During inflation time, in market, very high risk factor present. Say for example, one plate of idli will sell at 100 rupees. Who can eat? No one can eat. In such kind of situation, I invested 10 lakh rupees in tiffin center or breakfast center for manufacturing idlis. Definitely it is a foolish attitude. Understand? And I will definitely lose the money. Clear? In case 1, high inflationary situations present. In high inflation situations, less profitable, less profit margins for the establishment, businesses. And this is a risk condition in the economy. Clear? In this case, say for example, or clear here, inflation, why inflation happened again? Inflation happened due to high liquidity in the economy. Very important. Inflation happened due to high liquidity in the economy. If people are having excessive money with themselves or extra money with themselves, what they will do? They will spend excessively on the consumer goods. Whenever spending mechanism is increased or huge money spent on the consumer goods, it leads to an artificial demand for goods and services. This artificial demands of goods and services leads to price hike or price rise. This condition called as inflation. Understand? So what is the primary reason for inflation? High liquidity. High liquidity that present within the hands of people and with the businesses. And in this condition, what is the role of RBI? As I said in the very beginning of the definitionary part, whenever high liquidity is present in the economy or excessive money present in the economy, the role of RBI should absorb that excessive liquidity. How it absorb? By increasing the interest rates. Understand? Say for example, the present condition, say for example right now repo rate is 6.5 percentage. At 6.5 percentage, okay, this 6.5 percentage during the inflation time is very less interest rate or cheap loan. Clear? Now RBI want to absorb the excessive money. What RBI will do? RBI increase the repo rate. Say for example repo rate increase to 8 percentage, assume. So at what rate bank will give loan to the customer? Definitely bank will take some rate of interest as profit. It is keeping 3 percentage margin. At 11 percentage, a commercial bank is giving loan to industry or any individual. So what happened earlier? An individual and industry is getting loan around 8.5 percentage. Now the loan interest rate is 11 percentage or 12 percentage. It means that RBI increased the repo rate, and that increased rate burden banks are transferring on the individuals or industry or market. So loans become costlier. These costlier loans are not borrowed by the industry people or customer. Definitely if the bank loan rates are very much high, then that high rates will definitely incur losses to me. So as a businessman, I won't borrow from the bank. When I not borrowed, like me, thousands and crores of people are there. If all the industry people are not borrowed from the RBI, then what does it mean? RBI is making a block. RBI is making an obstacle. So RBI is preventing the money flowing from banks to the market. Understand? So RBI is keeping a block by increasing the repo rate so that these costly loans won't borrowed by the industry people. Clear? So here liquidity flow or money flow from bank into the economy is prevented. It means that absorbed. In this way RBI will equate or RBI will absorb the excessive liquidity. Clear all of you? So what does it mean? Here whenever high inflation are there, interest rates are high. Inflation and interest rates are directly proportional. Clear all of you? And at the same time, during this condition only, RBI increases the reverse repo rate also. Clear? Clear all of you? Here what is happening during the inflation time, loans definitely are risky. Clear? If bank give loan to 14% or 11%, definitely they won't return back. You can take in the rural area, if someone is giving the loan or credit at 1 rupee rate of interest or 2 rupee rate of interest, definitely the borrower will return. If someone who is giving the rate of interest at 7 rupees, 8 rupees, definitely is a risk factor. Risk factor. Clear? Same case applies here also. Clear? Reverse rate or reverse repo rate also increases. Whenever reverse repo rate is increases, it means that earlier RBI is giving the 6.25% rate of interest over the money of the banks. Now whenever reverse repo rate increases to, say for example 7.5%, what bank will do? Why should I give loan to the industry, and that loan is a risky loan during the inflation? Instead of giving loan to the industry, I can deposit money in the RBI under reverse repo rate, which is providing me high rate of interest. Understand? In this way, banks can keep their or deposit their excessive money in the commercial in the RBI under reverse repo rate during the inflationary time. Clear all of you? So what is the main point here? During inflation time, RBI increases the interest rates, particularly repos, both reverse repo and repo rate. In the contrary, during the deflation time, less demand present, so RBI want to pump money in the economy. How pumping of money is called? It is called prime pumping. Understand? How pumping of money will takes place? By reducing the interest rate. Understand? Earlier rate of interest is 11%, so no one is borrowing. Now RBI is reducing the rate of interest, reducing the repo rates. Earlier 6.5% repo rate, now repo rate say for example only 4%. Banks are taking 1 or 1.5% rate of interest additionally. So at 5% or 6% banks are giving loans. Understand? Earlier during the inflation time, loans at 11%, during the deflation time, loans at 5 or 6%. Loans become cheaper. These cheaper loans accepted or borrowed more and more by the industries. Whenever they will get cheaper loans, they invested more, and this investment leads to job creation. Understand? Clear? So during the deflation time, interest rates will be reduces. So loans become cheaper. This is called a cheap money policy. Understand? Clear? At the end of this discussion, one important point is that during the inflation time, RBI will implement a dear money policy. Dear money policy. Dear money meaning costly money. Understand? So you will get a question in the exam, during which condition RBI implement dear money policy? During the inflation time. During inflation time, RBI increases the repo rates, that leads to costlier loans. That costlier loans called as dear loans, dear money policy. During the deflation time, loans become cheaper. This mechanism called as cheap money policy. Cheap money policy. Understand? During deflation time, RBI will implement cheap money policy. Okay? By implementing dear money policy and cheap money policy during deflationary and inflationary conditions time, RBI will regulate money supply in the economy. This phenomena or this mechanism is called as monetary policy. Understand? Clear? So the monetary policy is the chief function of RBI. Now Government of India in the year 2016 amended the RBI Act 1934. We will discuss the RBI in the next chapter. RBI Act 1934 was amended. With that amendment, RBI made monetary policy, that is inflation control, is both the function of Government of India and respect to RBI equally. For that purpose, Monetary Policy Committee has been appointed. It is very important. Try to understand. Earlier, implementing monetary policy is the only function or the main function of RBI. RBI is the single boss. RBI is the only authority to implement the monetary policy earlier. But with the RBI amendment in 2016, Okay, a new institution or a new kind of setup was created, that is called as Monetary Policy Committee. This Monetary Policy Committee comprises of total 6 members. Monetary Policy Committee comprises of total 6 members, 3 members from RBI side and 3 members from Government of India side. Understand? So in Monetary Policy Committee, total 6 members present, 3 from Government of India side and 3 from RBI side. Clear? And these 6 people, they sit down at least quarterly once. Understand? They sit down quarterly once and they combinedly decide the interest rates. They combinedly decides the interest rates. Understand? So Monetary Policy Committee meeting happens every 15 days, not quarterly. For every 15 days they will assemble and they will decide the interest rates. They will decide the interest rates, particular repos, reverse repos and all. They will decide as per the market conditions. Clear? Clear all of you? Now the point is, in monetary policy now is the combined function of both Government of India and respective RBI combinedly. Clear? This is about monetary policy.